because we don't know what to do about it. It's something that should be thought through every single time that new flooring is added to a house, and that is, where is the finished floor height going to end up in relation to the other finished floor heights that are already in the house? Dean, is that serious? I mean, do you actually account for that when you construct? Oh, yes. If I have to take an entire section of a slab and refresh it down an inch, just to make sure that our flooring, our proposed flooring lines up, we will. We will not hesitate to do so. So, what do you do? What are you going to do? You're going to tear it all out and chip down the slab? No, when it comes to slabs, you're in much more limited territory. But you may want to consider that when you replace flooring, that you do something like a build-up of the main area, a buildup of that flooring so that it matches up with, let's say, the tile coming out of the bathroom or the tile coming out of the kitchen. Is it that expensive to build up the rest of the floor, let's say in a family room, living room, and so on? If you're already replacing the floor, it really isn't. And a buildup can be very efficient. And then by a buildup, I mean maybe adding a layer of water-resistant, moisture-resistant material that raises that floor level. Now, technically, are you making the room a little shorter? Yeah, but, you know, we're only talking about an inch or so added to worse situation, and you can afford that. Your house can afford that and to make smooth transition. If you're on a raised foundation, then you've got lots of options, and this is a no-brainer and a no-excuse scenario. Raised foundation means that when it comes to like tile work in the kitchen, and this is notorious, people are notorious for doing this. They've done an addition, and they're like, well, you know what, we're not going to do the 3/4 inch hardwood oak anymore, so we're just going to put plywood in to flush it, and we're putting linoleum on top. Well, if you strip that plywood down and off of the floor joist, you may be able to block in between the floor joist and put the new strips of plywood in between the floor joist so that the floor joist and the plywood sheathing flush at the same level and give you that extra 3/4 of an inch of room. You've got those options. Yes, it's going to take some work, but getting rid of a floor transition is one of the things that masks and hides the fact that there was any additional work done at all, and it is worth it. Worst case scenario on a raised foundation, meaning that you've got a subfloor and you've got wood underneath you, you can trim down those floor joists and sister them. Now, trimming them down weakens them, okay, from their original state. But if you trim them down and add next to it, with the advice of a structural engineer, sister them, meaning add another floor joist next to each one of them and lock them together, you can make up for the strength differential. In fact, you'll be making the floor stronger in the end by sistering it and losing an inch then by keeping the original floor joist. So you have options. All right. Flooring material changes at every single room. Let's talk about that when we return. I'm so glad you joined me this morning. You're home with Dean Sharp to help with for Brian Delona.
Orange County DA Todd Spitzer says he's worried about a criminal on the run. He says the man escaped Wednesday from a halfway house within hours of being sent there.
He could be armed and dangerous, and if anybody sees him, they should immediately call 911.
And 6 feet tall with brown hair and brown eyes, he was found guilty of stabbing his mom in 2017 when he was just 13 years old. He was convicted in December of attacking 3 corrections officers. The man was pleaded guilty for his role in the stabbing of a man who confronted a group of taggers in Anaheim. The attack in July 2016 left the man paralyzed. The defendant was initially charged with several felonies, including attempted murder, but he made a plea deal and pled to a misdemeanor count. He's been put on informal probation for a year. Unvaccinated teachers in the LA school district have been trying to be let back on campus. A group of teachers and parents rallied yesterday in front of the district's headquarters in downtown LA. This teacher says he's been moved to teaching virtually, and he doesn't agree with it.
We need to live with this. We need to get back to work. We need to return to normal. Those who are vaccinated, be confident in the shot you got. Be confident that you're safe, that you're protected.
He says the district is going to replace the on-campus jobs left by unvaccinated teachers with current employees. The district has not commented on the issue. A parent dressed as the Easter Bunny has given condom-filled Easter eggs to some elementary school students in Austin, Texas. Some of the eggs given out this week did have candy, but others had unopened condom packets. The school district says it will be reviewing its safety protocols because of what happened. Now taking a look at KFI traffic, we've got a crash on the 5.
A couple problems on the 5, actually. First off in Lake Forest, northbound inside of the 5 freeway at El Toro Road. We've had this crash here with a big rig and an overturned car. 3 right lanes remain shut down. Your jams back to 4 Alicia Parkway. Now in Commerce on the southbound side of the 5, just past the 710 freeway. It's a crash there in the 3 left lanes, causing heavy delays back to 4 Calzona. Downtown LA on the northbound 101 transition to the 110 south, crash on the transition road. It is backing up along the main line. You're starting around Grand Avenue. KFI in the sky helps you to there faster. I'm Robert Bucky.
Catalina Paint. Family-owned Catalina Paint. They started back in 1966 in West LA. And since then, they've expanded to 15 neighborhood locations across Southern California and has become one of the largest distributors of Benjamin Moore paint in all of Southern California. They have amazing prices on things like caulk and roller covers and drop cloths and everything and anything you need, which makes them, as always, the perfect place to shop for all your painting essentials. And now, they are doing a series of grand openings, which is just awesome. A grand opening celebration coming next weekend, April 22nd and 23rd, at Catalina's new store in Studio City, and they're going to be celebrating the reopening of Thousand Oaks as well. Catalina Paint's giving away a brand new 2022 Chevy Colorado pickup truck to one lucky person right now. So you can go online and get on down to any Catalina Paint store to register for the Catalina Paint truck giveaway. You might just be going home with a lot more than great paint. For details, go to CatalinaPaintStore.com. CatalinaPaintStore.com. Southbound weather from KFI, cloudy and some drizzle, then it's sunny by the afternoon, highs in the mid-60s to low 70s at the beaches, mid-60s to low 70s in Metro LA and OC, mid-60s to low 70s in the inland valleys, and upper 50s to upper 60s, and some gusty winds in the Inland Empire. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Brian Bruno.
I never appreciated what I had growing up. In short, I was an ingrate. Hello, I'm John Akoyan, founder of Rooter Hero Plumbing. I used to take everything for granted. I assumed my father would live forever. He didn't. When I only got one Christmas gift, I threw a tantrum. And when things didn't go my way, I wasn't pleasant to be around. Today, I keep a gratitude journal. I'm grateful to my family for the love they give me, my successes and my failures for the lessons they teach me. Spring is a time of rebirth. Rooter Hero encourages you to show gratitude this month and watch your life fill to the brim with joy. One other thing I'm grateful for is you, our customer. As usual, Rooter Hero Plumbing will cable your clogged drain for only $77. Call Rooter Hero Plumbing at 866-DRAIN-77. That's 866-DRAIN-77. Thank you.
102-8886. Paid for by GovMint.com.
Have you heard? The United States Mint has issued a Morgan silver dollar for the first time in 100 years. Not only that, but they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 175,000 legal tender silver dollars were issued. These Morgan silver dollars are brand new, bright and shiny legal tender coins minted by the iconic Philadelphia Mint. Just call 1-800-973-3091 and you are guaranteed a new 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. The first time in history this has happened. But with limited quantities, you must call now to order. To learn more, call 1-800-973-3091. If you order now, you will receive a free collector bonus, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-973-3091 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-3091.
This is Jacob Emrani. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
KFI.
More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
KFI AM 6.
640 and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You are home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Good Saturday morning to you. Thanks for joining us on the program. It is a privilege, as always, to spend some time talking about your home with you. On a Saturday morning from 6 to 8 and Sunday mornings from 9 to 11. All right, back to our list of, this is what we're talking about all weekend long. It was this way when we bought it. Inheriting somebody else's mistakes, and what are you going to do about it? I know, here's the thing. You can only blame the previous owners so many times before, it's time for you to just step up and get this thing fixed. Let's do it. Let's fix it. Let's put it away permanently so that people will walk into your home and you can be proud of everything about your home everywhere along the way. Here's a simple one. Flooring material changes at every single room. Now, I am all for, as a home designer, giving each room its own individual character and its sense of style. But changing the flooring in every single room to something different, that just becomes a patchwork quilt. And it rarely ever works. Ever. If you don't live in I'll tell you where it will work. It works if you live in a 15,000 square foot or larger home. It works because the rooms are so far apart from each other. When you have to get in a golf cart to drive from one room to the next, by the time you get there, you don't notice or care that the flooring has changed because you can't see one from the other. But if you live in a normal-sized home, where walking down the hallway, you're like, oh, look at that. Oh, that's different, and that's different, and that's different, all in one view. You want to bring some unification to that story. And you know how to do it. You want to consider what flooring material can we run in everywhere that's going to complement with all of the room themes that we're working on. Because there are themes, individual themes in each room, but the flooring underneath it all one flooring can support so many different themes, and it will make the house seem larger, more spacious. Like I said at the outset of the program, spaciousness is not an issue of pure square footage. It's a psychological, emotional thing. It's a perceived thing, and having flooring run continuously throughout the house is one way of bringing spaciousness to the house without increasing square footage. All right. Let's talk about a problem from the 80s. There were so many problems with the 80s. Where do we even begin? The 80s and 90s. But here's one that you are well familiar with. Massive jetted tub platforms. You know, in the master bathroom. The primary bathroom. In the primary bathroom, there's that gigantic tub platform. Now, strangely enough, the tub itself, with the jacuzzi jets, the air jets, the recirculation jets. I say jacuzzi, it's a brand name, but it's become a ubiquitous kind of generic brand description. The tub itself, oddly enough, may not be all that big, but the platform that it's sitting on, taking up so much space in the bathroom. There's like 2 or 3 steps up to it. The tile is out of date, and you know that story. So, where have we moved on to these days? Well, thank goodness that we are in an era now where people are starting to let go of, not of the luxurious spa tub experience, but of jetted tubs in general and the big platforms. Freestanding soaking tubs are all the rage these days. And I would say fad? No, not a fad. I'll tell you why they're not a fad. They're not a fad when you consider the fact that ever since tubs were invented, this is what tubs were. They were a vessel to hold warm water that you put your body in and soak. And so whether you look at your favorite Western, or whether you look back even further, the idea of bathing in a freestanding tub has always been the case. So the fact that we've returned to it, I actually love that fact. They take up less space. And by the way, you may not want a soaker tub in your bathroom at all. Okay. Normally, and we get asked this question all the time, should there be a bathtub in the house? Yeah, for retail purposes and the fact that, maybe your kids are grown, but maybe the grandkids are going to start showing up soon. Tubs have their purpose, and so we don't hesitate, though, to remove one from the primary bathroom if one of the hall bathrooms or another bathroom in the house still has a tub in it. If there's a tub in the house, you're probably just fine. You don't necessarily need one in your bedroom, okay? But let's say you want to keep it. All right, fine. Soaker tubs take up so much less space. And the other thing that you've probably heard me comment on this before, that when these jetted tubs were sold in magazine spreads, they just look so lovely, and there's this woman, and she's in the bubble bath, and she's in her jacuzzi-style jetted tub, and there's a candle that's lit, soft music that's playing. That all looks great in a magazine ad or a sound-looking video. But in reality, so you set the scene and you're there, and then you decide to turn on the jets. This is when your Zen-like experience goes away, because the jets are all of a sudden in this quiet, beautiful, serene experience, or the blower motor, even worse. So, yeah, it's loud. It's loud. And it's not at all quiet, which is why most people in reality, even if they use their soaker tub, rarely use the jets or the air blowers. So, there you go. The massive jetted tub platform. Don't see it as a curse. See it as an opportunity, because you know what? That thing is taking up a lot of space. In the space that tub is taking up, you could put in a shower of epic luxury proportions, or a simple soaker tub with lots of space around it to decorate in a way that's very, very pleasing to the eye. Those tubs are a thing of the past and should be removed, like most of the architecture from the 80s, by the way. Yeah, not a fan. I'm not a fan of 80s residential tract architecture. Have you noticed? Okay. All right, when we return, back to the list. I got more for you today and tomorrow. You're home with Dean Sharp. The house was for Brian Baruman.
A new report shows the number of people unemployed in California has dropped below 1 million for the first time since the start of the pandemic. State health officials say they have no plans to reinstate pandemic restrictions, even though COVID case numbers are on the rise. And a man has been arrested for a robbery at a gun range in Georgia where 3 members of a family were killed. We're going to have a look at some problems on the 5 next.
When you hear me say there are only 2 kinds of solar companies out there, Sunlux and everyone else, I'm not kidding around. Neither is Tesla, the solar giant who for the first time has opened their entire residential solar ecosystem to just a handful of trusted companies. And guess who Tesla selected for Southern California? Sunlux. Sunlux and Tesla. It's a perfect partnership. Sunlux has Tesla panels. They have Tesla low-profile mounting systems. It is the best out there. 1/3 less penetrations into the house. And the world's single most sought-after solar component, the Tesla Powerwall battery. Anybody can order those for you, just to be clear. But Sunlux, because of their relationship with Tesla, can actually get them for you. It all amounts to the most advanced solar in the industry, and it's waiting for you at Sunlux. Sunlux and Tesla, the whole Tesla solar ecosystem, including Powerwall batteries. Find it at sunlux.com. That's sunlux.com. CSLB 1008374.
Car shortages? What car shortage? Head to driveway.com today to shop more than 25,000 new and used cars in Driveway's nationwide inventory. Driveway.com. That's driveway.com.
SoCal weather from KFI. Windy conditions in the Inland Empire with some strong gusts and cooler temperatures. This report brought to you by driveway.com. Now, taking a look at KFI traffic, we've got multiple problems on the 5.
First off in Lake Forest on the northbound side of the Plaza del Toro Road, where we've had this crash on going quite a while now. It is 3 white lanes shut down due to a big rig and an overturned car. You're jammed back to 4 Alicia Parkway. In Commerce on the southbound side of the plaza, just past the 710 freeway, it's crashed in a couple of right lanes. There's only 3 lanes there, which means only the left lane open for you. And a really heavy traffic for Calzona, downtown LA, the 101 north transition for 110 south now shut down due to a crash as well. Back up along the main line starting at Grand Avenue. Entering Goodyear from Inglewood, 405 stop before the 105 crash. We go through the shoulder there to drop a couple into Century Boulevard. KFI on the side helps get you there faster. I'm Kentucky.
This report is sponsored by Norm Reed's Honda Superstore. Built-in, sunnier days from the driver's seat with a super experience at Norm Reed's Honda Superstore. Swap out your vehicle or return any Honda lease, then upgrade from their super selection of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hondas. Shop online at normreeds.com.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. CINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements. And today, 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can get for your dog.
What do you need? How happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com. How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this fall is over. Just tell us what you need. Indoor, outdoor, repair, or redesign, and we handle the rest. Setting a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com, that's ANGI.com to get started.
No, Mom, don't go to all the trouble of painting and hiding eggs and then giving me a bunch of presents for Easter. I'll just take the cash. Hello? Hello? And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morongo.
Rapid Fire Friday. You can win $1,500 in free play weekend rewards card. 1 to 0 p.m.
Number 4,
Dynamite Night Live, April 23rd. Get your tickets now.
3,
Easter special from the casino floor to the sky. Good Times Cafe, Fiesta Taco, and Cielo all have dining specials this Easter.
and the number 2,
Easter Candy. Get birthday with candy Easter eggs on April 17th.
and the number 1 reason.
Dolly Parton gift giveaway. Get a butterfly turkey roll when you earn 500 points on your rewards card. The 18th and 19th.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo. Good times.
We've been down this road before, SoCal. The one that brings us back to drought. But we don't find our way by using less gas. The best route is to fix leaks quickly. Or adjust our sprinklers so they only water plants, not pavement. And with California-friendly and native plants to your gardens and parks. For tips and helpful rebates, visit SeawaterWise.com.
KFI AM 640.
Team Shark, the House Whisperer, at your service. Welcome home. Hey, thanks for joining us on the program today. It's going to be a bit overcast, maybe a bit drizzly today, but the sun's going to break out and it's going to be yet another beautiful Southern California spring day today. Tina and I are doing some work in the garden, and then we're cooking something. We're in the kitchen. We're doing something in the kitchen. I forget what. Sarah's coming over. Oh, and we're making pretzel bread. And what else? And a lemon tart. I don't know how to make a lemon tart. We're going to watch Sarah teach us how to make a lemon tart. I'm not sure I know how to make pretzel bread, but we're going to figure it out. All right. No one needed to know that. There it is. Just spend so little airtime telling people things that they didn't need to know. Here is what you do need to know how to fix stuff that you've inherited in your house from somebody else's mistakes. It was this way when we bought it. That's what we're talking about, not only today, but tomorrow's program as well. Where am I at in the list here? Now, let's see, floor material changes, massive jetted tub platforms, got that. Dipping, sloping, or spongy floors. This is not entirely unrelated to floor material changes and severe flooring height transitions, but let's say everything in that regard is fine. Dipping, sloping, and spongy floors, it's going to apply if you have a raised foundation, meaning that you have a crawl space underneath your house and you're walking on wood floors on the first floor, or if you've got a two-story house and you've got stuff going on upstairs. What causes dipping, sloping, or spongy? Well, there are different causes for each. A dip in a floor could be everything from a sagging floor joist to just a poorly framed floor in a room. You may or may not know this, but when the lumber comes out to a job site, when framers are going to get to work on your house, especially large format lumber like floor joists, larger pieces of lumber, there is in that piece of lumber a crown, what we call the crown, meaning that it's bending slightly one direction or the other, a little bit of a bow to it. Okay, I'm not talking side-to-side bows; those are easy to take out. I'm talking about in the length and the height of the material, that there's a slight bow, an arch, as it were. Very, very slight, usually, but it's there nonetheless. It is the job of a framing crew to identify those crowns. You pick up each board, you look down the length of the edge of the board, you find out what side the crown is on, and we mark it. Why? Because we want to install all those floor joists with the crown up. So they're all arching up, because we know that over time, that arch is going to settle down under the weight and the use of the house. And when that piece of floor joist lumber is spanning your house, it's eventually going to settle in and settle down and straighten out. The problem is, let's say somebody has framed out the floor joist in an entire room, got all the crowns right except one, which they put in upside down. That one started out sagging. It's not sagging because it's failing structurally. It's sagging because the natural crown in the wood is not lined up with all the others, and it is in fact going in the opposite direction. That's one of the things that causes floor sags or dips in a floor. Can they be fixed? Yeah. Are you going to tear out the floor joist? No, of course not. But you can, if it is a severe situation, go in underneath the plywood and fur up the edge of that floor joist and then reset the plywood. You can attach a supplemental floor joist, a smaller piece of material like a 2x4 or 2x6 to the top edge of that floor joist running straight, and reattach the sheathing to that instead of the floor joist proper in order to eliminate the sag in the floor. Another way that people resolve this when it comes to subfloor conditions is by raising or filling in all the dips in a floor with self-leveling concrete. Self-leveling floor mixtures, I say concrete, it's technically not concrete, but they are a mixture that you mix up. It pours out, it finds its own level, it fills in all the dips and the divots, and then within an hour or so it has hardened, and within a day or so it's ready to have stuff put back on it in the room, and it can fix all sorts of things, from a sagging floor material to a dipping floor, even an out-of-level floor, which sometimes happens in slabs as well. Okay, so dipping, sloping, spongy floors. Spongy floors are usually a sign that a section of subfloor, whatever it may be, is starting to fail on you for some reason. Spongy floors may result as a result of plywood starting to fail, or if you live in an older home, the 1x6s that are set on diagonal across your floor joist, something is broken or rotting, or that's starting to fail. Spongy floors should always be investigated, especially if it's a crawl space floor as opposed to a second floor, because a crawl space floor is just subject to so many other things. Termites, mold, mildew, rot. You just want to make sure of why
the floor is spongy, and then fix it up. Sometimes it's just a weakening of plywood over the years, and a block can be placed underneath that spongy area of plywood from underneath the floor in order to firm up that area, and boom, problem solved. So not a lot of these are necessarily begging for major structural overhaul, okay? But they're the kind of thing that you experience on a daily basis. So should they be fixed? Of course they should be fixed. Because why step around that area of floor anymore? Why try and hide it with furniture? Why apologize? That's my point. Why apologize for a situation in your house being substandard when you can actually just get to it and give it some attention and get it fixed? The same holds true with the next item on the list. I think we have just enough time for this today. Lumps, bumps, and ridges in walls and in ceilings. And you know what? It's a very similar principle. That's why I'm going to sandwich them together. 2x4 studs, 2x6 studs, and ceiling joists. Also, imperfect lumber, not necessarily always straight. And so when a wall gets framed up, sometimes we discover only after the drywall is on that one of the 2x4s is really bowing out and making a lump in the wall. Okay? That's not cool. It should have been addressed at the time that the house was built. The fact that they left it, shame on them. And everybody's had to put up with it ever since. You're going to find this a lot in ceilings, especially those of you who have decided, you know what, we're not going to have this acoustic ceiling popcorn on our ceilings anymore. We're going to scrape those. And then you scrape them and to realize, oh my goodness, what the hell is wrong with my ceiling? It's just wavy and crazy and all over the place. And then you have discovered why the acoustic ceiling was there in the first place. Acoustic ceiling? Yeah, that was really a sham. Yeah, it does muffle the reflectivity of sound a little bit in the room, but believe me, developers and home builders across this fine nation of ours did not come up with acoustic ceiling coverings for your ceilings because they were so concerned about the echo in your living room. They were not at all concerned about that. Acoustic ceiling spray was discovered to be something that we could justify by saying it serves this purpose, but its real purpose? To cover up a really bad ceiling job, a really crooked dips, divots, and unlevel ceiling work that the drywallers were not going to get paid money to smooth out and fix when they hung the drywall. So, by taking away your acoustic ceiling, you have discovered what was there all along, which was an uneven ceiling. Those ceilings can be floated, they can be mudded, they can even be shimmed down, have the drywall and sections removed and shimmed down, but most of the time you can just call out a really good drywaller and have them float mud over the high points, the low points, the divots, and smooth out a ceiling. It's what we call a Type 5 drywall finish. It's going to cost you some money, but in the end, you can have a perfectly flat, smooth ceiling, and it's not going to draw attention to itself. All right, folks. Tomorrow, we will continue this list. We've got so many more issues of things that you have inherited when you bought this house of yours. Stuff that's time for you to fix things. All right, and I'm going to guide you through it as we did today. Thanks again for spending the morning with me. It's been a privilege as always. I'll be back tomorrow from 9 to 11. Handle on the laws up next. If you've got any legal questions, the lines are open for Bill. Whatever your plan is for the day, get out there. Be open, be kind, get busy building yourself a beautiful life. We'll see you tomorrow.
Happy Easter. I'm going to celebrate by doing a reverse Jesus, turning wine into water. The family recipe.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Rolling the dice on squatting. I'm Brian Berman, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Investigators in Pomona say more criminals have been trying their luck with setting up illegal casinos inside vacant buildings.
A tip came in from a landlord about a building that was supposed to be vacant, but when cops showed up, gamblers started running out.
It was more of a workshop that they converted into a casino with portable air conditioning units, wires, and man-made walls.
He says things often get violent when someone wins and the casino owner refuses to pay up.
A lot of times the casinos are being used to fund gang activities.
Vacant buildings aren't getting all the action, as just last week, Pomona PD busted up a large casino inside a two-story home. Corbin Carson, KFI News.
News brought to you by System Pavers. Unvaccinated teachers in the LA school district have rallied against the district's COVID-19 vaccine rules.
The teachers say they've been moved to teaching virtually and they want to be let back onto campus. This teacher says it would mean a lot to her to be able to come back.
I teach a house class, which is a preschool for all learners, for special ed, and they've been disserviced. They don't have their qualified teacher. Right now they have an intern in there. Not even an intern, an emergency hired.
A group of teachers and parents rallied in front of the district building in downtown LA yesterday. The district would not comment. In downtown LA, Blake Trolley, KFI News.
A memo has been sent to members of the LAPD instructing those wishing to bypass the COVID-19 vaccine mandate to take part in a virtual meeting with the city's vaccination mandate task force. The memo said groups of 150 to 200 people would meet weekly on the interactive call. The LAPD's largest union has told its members not to participate in the meeting until the city has met with union leadership to clarify the purpose of the meeting. A man in Georgia who was mistakenly arrested for shooting a police officer has spoken out about the error. The man says he was named as the suspect in a double shooting last month, but was eating ice cream with his son when it happened. He said he went to the police station to correct the information, but it didn't go well.
I walked in, I said, hey, I'm the guy y'all was looking for on the news. They're like, get out, get out, get out, get out.
Police admitted the mistake and dropped charges on Wednesday. The man has spent weeks in jail before the mistake was discovered. He says he wants an apology and compensation. A man in Utah has been convicted of killing a teen couple and throwing their bodies down an abandoned mine shaft. The teens had been tied up and stabbed. Their bodies were found months after the murders in 2017. Prosecutors say the murderer killed the couple because he found them hanging out with his girlfriend. She testified at the man's trial. NASA's SpaceX astronauts are set to return to Earth later this month. Astronaut Kayla Barron says the team has been living and working at the International Space Station since November.
We all got the chance to do a spacewalk during this mission, and that was kind of a crew goal. We didn't know if it would work out because of the scheduling, but we had a fantastic time out there doing some amazing work, looking down at the beautiful planet.
NASA says the crew experimented on plant growth of drought-resistant cotton plants. The astronauts also tested a bioprinter designed to print bandages made from skin cells to cover injuries. A daycare operator in Virginia has been charged for giving three babies THC-infused goldfish breast. The babies, all younger than 1, had to go to a hospital last month. Child Protective Services is investigating. The woman has given up her daycare license. And the Archbishop of Los Angeles will be blessing animals as part of a pre-Easter tradition. LA Mayor Garcetti will join Archbishop Jose Gomez at this afternoon's event at El Pueblo Historical Monument in downtown LA. Now taking a look at KFI traffic, we've got a crash on the 5 in Commerce.
That's southbound just after the 710. Only the left lane open there, so it's causing some heavy traffic from Calzona. And it's also affecting the 710 southbound in East LA in between the 60. You'll see some